Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another AFLW Fantasy Fanatics pre-lockout chat ahead of round 4. We are recording live on Friday, the 5th of September, ahead of round 4. My voice is a little bit gone, as people may hear some like the reverberations of the vocal cords here that's sort of been strained a little bit last night. But safe to say, after halftime, midway through the third quarter, pretty much given up. So not too bad. But but joining me, as always, is my fellow co-host and AFLW Fantasy Fanatic, Tom Hales. Tom, mate, how are you? How's your week been so far? I'm sure it's been a little bit better than mine.
Yeah, week's been good. Just working, really, doing some AFLW research and ready for a condensed 2-day schedule this weekend.
Yes, exactly. So nothing better to put your team losing a final sorrows into watching a heap of AFLW. Looking really forward to that and getting our fantasy teams in shape and in order, ready for round 4. And obviously we'll get to a heap of your questions as well throughout the show. So if you guys do have questions, chuck them in the chat and we'll get to a few of those as well. But Tom, obviously ahead of the upcoming week, what are the big issues from your team that you're looking to potentially trade out this week? And what are the questions that in regards to your own trades that you're looking at doing, and then obviously go into what you're looking at doing as well?
Yeah, I've got my team, I think, is in a decent enough spot. Like, I've moved up from 3.5k to 1.1 to 380 in the last couple of weeks. So team's in a decent spot, and it's just deciding which rookies to cull, which premium players maybe are losing a bit of cash that I can jump off. Which in a longer season maybe I'd hold those players, but in a short season shall I jump off now, let them drop a bit of cash and be open to bringing them back 100, 200, 300k cheaper. So currently in the app, and this is I'm not locking this in by any stretch before the first bounce tomorrow afternoon. I currently have on the outs Kiara Bowers, Serene Watson, and Jess Wrench. Trading out Jess Wrench brings Tess Boyd on field for me, which is good. I'm happy with. And bringing in Sierra Greaves, Shelley Heath, and Ella Roberts. Ella Roberts allows me. I have a bit of cash in the bank from last week, so I can just do that slight little downgrade, which gives me enough cash to do the sideways from Heath to Watson to Heath and then Bowers to Roberts. They feel very luxury, but I don't have that many issues in my side this week. I'm just letting the cash cows fatten, making sure they all top out before it's time to call them and getting that cash on field.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I think that's the play with these, because the cash gen, right? Like I was saying just before we started recording, that could you trade a Fish out instead of a Bowers, right? But it's like Fish is probably going to make another 100k this week, and then maybe she slows down after that, and then you trade next week. But that's 100k that could be important for getting a Jazz Garner when she comes back, getting a Chloe Malloy in the forward line, getting a Tilly Lucas Rod in the defense. So like you probably still, people will go, oh, my team's nearly complete. Like, right, you might have like a Tess Boyd at D5. You might have other players at like Laura Stone at F5 that are already decent money that aren't too far away from premiums. But we still need a fair bit of cash to get those top end players to have a proper completed team with the best players in our side. Because all well and good, we can have the players in the 600, 700Ks in defense and forward line, then have the sort of 900K $1 million players in the midfield. But we want those players, like midfielders, we want the 1.3, 1.4 players, those top 5 mids, those top 5 defenders, top 5 forwards. So I think cash gen is still important to be getting those players. And who knows, we may even have an ability to have a 17th premium in AFLW Fantasy this year. Who knows? We'll have to see how it goes. Could be more difficult, right? With only one emergency in each line, it's a bit more difficult to cover if someone's out. So we'll have to see if that does bring any fruition later on in the year. My trades at the moment, a little bit similar to yours, probably a bit more money. Putting into the forward line with trades at the moment. Don't know if I'm doing these just yet. I'm still working through what I'm going to do with trades. But at the moment, I've gone Bowers down to Greaves, and people will go, why are you going to premium down all the way down? So that brings Fish on field, and only way to get Greaves is by trading Bowers, Fish, or Centra. I'm not trading Centra because she's probably more of a trade in now than a trade out. Fish, I think there's still another week to go, and Bowers is the one I'm going down to put Fish on field. But that gives me the cash to go Watson across to Shelley Heath, and then go Darcy Vesio all the way up to Chloe Malloy. So essentially, you're going Bowers to Malloy, you're going Watson to Heath, and then it's Vesio slightly down to Greaves. So a few little sideways sort of maneuvers, little restructure there, but that's currently what I'm looking at doing. I could keep DV there for another week and use that money on top of, say, Jess Wrench and go get a Tilly Lucas Rod, and that would bench one of those rookie defenders. But I'm a bit worried about DV playing a little bit more of that forward role like she did in the last quarter last week. So I'll be looking at that and seeing what I do with those moves there. Tom has just jumped off for a second. I'm sure jump back on in a bit there. Maybe his laptop is finally charged. He might be able to go on the laptop instead of his phone. We've got a couple of super chats here. So Tim Ashworth says, thank you, Bales. Thank you, mate. So I appreciate the super chat. And he said, what do you think about the Crows last night? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Pretty depressed about that one, to be honest. A bit sad that they lost. Part of me was like, okay, well, if they lose, Rankin will be free, right? There's a positive there. But I'm like, when it got to the game last night, I was like, I don't care. I just want to win. I just want to get through. And unfortunately, they didn't. Collingwood were clearly the better team. Finals experience certainly was showing last night. And yeah, unfortunately, they weren't able to get it done last night. Do have a super chat here from Will Byde as well. Thank you, mate. Present a question through here. Hey, boys. Bales, thanks for the team review. All good, mate. But I couldn't get to Riddell. But in these trades, I can with 11K in the bank. So looking at Wrench to Greaves, Too Good to Grace Kosh, and Bowers to Riddell. Thoughts, or is it not worth it? I think we were looking at your team because you had Laura Stone as your F5 and Too Good was on your bench. So I think that's definitely a play. I think you can do that. Kosh isn't probably the rookie you have to go for. You could go for Lauren Young potentially, who's not named this week, but will be named in a week or two. Or maybe you get Kosh and then bring Lauren Young in at a later date. But Wrench to Greaves is good. I'm assuming that brings on a Boyd or an on field, and then Bowers to Riddell. I'm ticking off. Tom, you ticking those trades off?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I quite like that. Getting the number one midfielder is definitely, you're not going to go wrong with that. I just won't be expecting a 150 average for the rest of the year.
Yeah, maybe this week, though, against Collingwood. Good matchup. So we're hoping that another good score is coming this week. But we'll not ticking those trades off, that's for sure. We've got another super chat from Corey Bladder. Very generous one. Thank you, mate. Very much appreciate the super chat. Looking like going Ott, Clark, and Wrench to Rigoni, Paige Scott, and Georgia Stathis most likely, and can get Malloy next week potentially off of it. But Phil Bowers is a hold. What are your thoughts on those moves, Tom? So is it too early to trade a Beck Ott? I think Amber Clark and Jess Wrench can both go, but is Beck Ott, can she go?
She can go. If I'm holding for another week. I think she's got a little bit more cash to make, but I'm happy to get off her. She's made a very good amount of cash. She made nearly 300K. If that allows you to get that one big upgrade, which it looks like it does, and I assume that D5 is going up to a Georgia Stathis, who's a very good option, especially with a soft midfield run for the Bulldogs. I think they're great trades.
The only thing I'd say is that if you don't have Shelley Heath, Corey, I would actually go Shelley Heath, and then I would bring in Greaves instead of Rigoni if you can, with sort of DPP and stuff like that. Or if you've already got Heath, maybe getting someone potentially close to 800K to get Greaves in just for the better cash gen. But if you can't, that's fine. We still tick off the trades, that's for sure. So, yep, no, good trades there. We'll keep going through some more questions. Before we get into other questions, so Tom, obviously you talked about Bowers, right? Is Bowers a trade out for you? Because she started really well. Like first quarter was 39 points. We're like, great, here we go. But then she was really quiet after that. And it's the touches for me that's the big concern. She's not getting those mid-20s to low 30s disposals where she can put up these big scores. She's relying heavily on tackles. And last week we saw, yes, granted, tough match against North Melbourne, but again, it was only 17 touches and 4 tackles, which meant a low score. could you just trade out? I think that if you've got fish on the bench, it makes a bit of sense because you can maybe redistribute that cash into other lines, whether that's getting a better ruck, getting one of the top defenders or top forwards. Is Bowers a trade out for you? Obviously, team dependent, right? It's where are you, obviously she's in your trade plans. So, what are your thoughts?
I think trading Bowers is an extreme luxury. Like realistically, she's had one bad half, and she's been fine other than that. But she's also not been great other than like she's been fine, and that's where I'm like, I think she can go. Freo, while you look this week, still have quite a tough draw for the next 4 or 5 weeks. With Sydney, the Eagles, Essendon, Carlton, Hawthorn in the next 5. It's not the easiest midfield run. So I'm happy to jump off. But if you have some more pressing issues, she's an absolutely fine hold.
Yeah. Do you think for those teams that have got like a little bit like my team where you've got fish on the bench still, you're probably bringing fish on for maybe a week, maybe 2, to then maybe up sideways. So maybe it could be to a Kate Hoare, Ali Anderson, Isla Sheeran, someone like that, or even someone if you can go up to a Garner maybe in a few weeks' time. That's probably why I'm thinking about Bowers out, is because I'm probably planning to go fish to Garner in probably 3 weeks, or at least go maybe fish across to someone and then to Garner. Do you think if you've got fish on the bench and you can then trade Bowers to maybe a Malloy or a T. Lucas Rod and get a top defender or top forward, is that something that you'd... Obviously, we don't want to pay top dollar at the moment, right? Because T. Lucas Rod and Chloe Malloy, they're both top price. They're not getting any cheap, and they're probably getting a bit more expensive, right? But they're not any value. But I think forward line is what? Goldsworthy, Malloy, Ham, and Woodland are probably the clear top 4 forwards, we would say. And then defense, I think T. Lucas Rod, they're probably 10 points clear of the next best defender. Is it worth going a Bowers and restructure to get one of those 2 in? Yeah.
I would add Ben Strom into that as well if you don't have Strom or Morfitt or Schultz. Then I would add Strom into that, as I think you can definitely do that, and that's a very, very, very viable trade. It depends how you want to treat that fish cash. Do you want to treat it as that's going to be at some point my 1 downgrade, and that's going to allow me to do 2 mega upgrades on the other side of it, because I'm going to have 600-700k to put on people's heads? Or are you going to effectively do that this week by doing that downgrade this week from Bowers to a rookie, getting that cash, which allows you to do a mega upgrade or a couple of mega upgrades? I think both are viable. I think you definitely can do it. And if I made the restructure round 2, getting fish on field, I'm very happy with that decision. It allowed me to redistribute some funds to make my overall squad stronger. So I definitely wouldn't talk people out of doing that.
Yeah, if so, you obviously just in isolation, because obviously every team's different. They may have a player that they need to upgrade in a position more than the other. But if you had to rank T. Lucas Rod, Mimstrom, and Chloe Malloy as the 3 that I guess the top price ones that a lot of people don't have, where would you prefer to go to? Because it's obviously the trickier one. You probably think Strom's a little bit closer to the pack than like last year. Malloy is sort of bunching a sort of 2 or 3 of those top forwards, and then T. Lucas Rod, they're probably clear of the defender by a little bit, but we've got some really good cheaper defenders that you could get in. How would you rank those 3?
I think Malloy would be number 1 of options to get in, purely because the next 3 are very nice for Sydney. The next 3 are Freo, Collingwood, GWS, which is nice. Then we do run into a little bit of a wall of Adelaide, North, Carlton, Melbourne. But I think Malloy is going to be comfortably 15, 20 points better than the F6, whoever that is. Whereas I think you can get access there's probably about 15 and 20 players who could be top 5 adjacent in the defensive line. And some of them now, like a Shelley Heath at 750-ish, you can access at a much lower price than the 1.1 million. Mim Strom is someone I would put second, but only if you have Liz McGrath or a Piper Dunlop on field. Then I'd be
Havana
looking.
Harris, would that, or do
Yeah,
you think she's
I was thinking.
enough?
I think she's borderline. I think she's got maybe this week, just due to the matchup for Gold Coast having GWS. I think you give Havana Harris that, then Harris to Strom next week seems like quite a nice thing to do. After going into the tougher run for Gold Coast forwards, Carlton, Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, Hawthorn. You kind of don't want a Gold Coast key forward. Given she does get up the ground, she's playing very well. I think that's the time.
I sort of wonder I wonder if Havana Harris gets a bit more of that midfield time, right? Is that playing in the midfield with Charlie Rowbottom out?
But Claudia Whitford's in this week. Also, I think the moving Neve McLaughlin in there in the final quarter last week seemed to really work. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see more McLaughlin CBA time. Because Gold Coast are trying to find something, right? They're getting battered every week. So the magnets are going to get thrown. I just see the floor of Harris being quite low if she ends up for a game playing a deeper forward role, which I don't think she should. But I just worry about magnets throwing in one of the worst sides in the competition.
Yeah, no, it's a good shout for sure. Got another super chat here from Corey Blackledge. Thank you, mate. He's saying, can't get Greaves as I've got Howley utility, want to keep the Gold Coast matchup, have to trade defenders. That's all good, all good. I wasn't sure if you could get another player.
Howley,
but that is.
Have we heard more about Howley, or is it still a bit of a TBC? We'll see how she is.
I haven't seen anything. I'm not sure.
Because I had a look today, because that's another consideration around Malloy. With no Howley, she's going to get a bit more mid-time. It's also decent.
No. Howley from West Coast. You're thinking Sophia Hurley.
Sorry, guys. My fault.
Oh, I like that. That's funny.
But Howley plays for GWS, not West Coast.
Oh no, and I'm thinking Rowley. Now I'm thinking Courtney. Now I'm thinking Rowley. Okay, yeah. No, now we're all getting mixed. Now we're all getting.
Sorry,
mixed.
guys. We're
Rowley.
not experts. I will say we. Yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, no, it's the rookie from GWS.
No, who's
been very good. Who's been very good.
I'm going to put it down to last night. Still, my brain's still fried from last night. Limits has got this one. Thoughts on Bowers, Watson, and Patricios to Riddell, Boyd, and Greaves fielding all players. Alternatively, I'd be keeping Bowers and trading a rookie, not making cash and getting a Heath-type defender.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to put Greaves on field.
I wouldn't want to put Greaves on field, agreed. But yeah, just the one that probably comes in there. I think Patricios, I'm happy to trade. I think Liam touched on it well last night on free kick that you just like there's even though Vesely's out, just the fact that she was on the bench a lot, she was forward. I just don't want to part of that. With those midfield spots, are so, as you said, Tom, on Sunday, they're so precious with the 5 spots you've got. You want those big scores, and Patricios has shown I don't think she's going to get those at the moment. So I'm trading her. But Serene Watson, talk to me. What are you thinking with Serene Watson? Because I can trade her or Wrench this week, and I'm leaning towards Watson purely because it allows me to keep, I guess, like Tessa Boyd on field at D5. But Watson this year has been frustrating. Like the first 2 games, there was a quarter where she just didn't do well, where it could have been an 80-90 score. But then last week, there was obviously that poor score. B. Jacobson's back in to the team. But then along with Ella Friend being back there, I just think there's a lot of those defenders back there now that it's almost like Serena Watson's not the main distributor. I'm not sure she's going to be a top 5 defender like I probably hope she would. Picking her, and I said to you at the start, I wish I could have got Charlie Thomas, who I know didn't have a great game on the weekend, but I was really keen on her, but I couldn't quite afford it with the team that I had. But is Serene Watson a trade for you?
For me, yes, just because I think her cash is going the wrong way. Like, even if she puts up a 65 this week, she's going to be below 700k. Like, I'm happy to jump back on if I see things change. I'm happy to jump back on, but we've got 3 trades. As I said at the start of the show, like my team personally is in a decent spot, so I don't have that many things to do. Serene Watson is probably my weakest link right now. So she goes and I'm happy fielding Tessa Boyd. Tessa Boyd could outscore Serene Watson, and no one would bat an eyelid.
Yeah,
she has done the previous 2 weeks. Like, now's the time to get someone who I think is going to be top 5 adjacent. I don't see that ceiling with Serene, unfortunately. She can turn it around. There's no never again list. There's no ill feeling. It's just, unfortunately, 3 trades a week allows you to do this.
Yeah. If you had to field one of Wrench or Ott, because I think a few people in that boat, I'm in that boat because Boyd's won. Who are you picking? Because Ott's got a tough matchup against Hawthorn, against Lucy Wales and Simmons.
Yeah.
And then you've got Wrench, she's up against Port Adelaide. And with the team changes, it probably looks like she's going to be more mid. So I'm probably leaning towards Wrench. That's where I've currently landed. But where would you lean?
I've always been Wrench. I mean, Hawthorn's on the scale isn't that hard. But Lucy Wells might not be great for Beckott's Ruck style. I think Ott's got a higher floor. Wrench has got a higher ceiling. But Wrench has put up 240s in a row now.
Yeah.
That 74 was great. Round 1. Thank you very much. Great pick. Thanks for your cash.
Was against Gold Coast as well.
Was against Bales' most favourite defensive structure, that is Gold Coast, as we found on Sunday. But just let people do. Let's just
okay, yeah, no, we're not starting that. We're not starting that. I've already got scars from last night from the Crows. I don't want scars again from Matilda Schultz just destroying me on the weekend. That was a very, very hard watch.
I think I'm playing Otts. I think I'm trading Wrench over Ott this week, so I think that tells what I'm.
It's probably a good point because I'll be trading Wrench over Ott this week. So it's like, yeah, no, it's a good one. I'll contemplate that one. I'm sure a few people will as well. Lee Everett, would love your thoughts on these trades. So going Tonnen to Greaves, Butler to Kosh, and Wrench to Boyd. Boyd being on field, leaving me with 99k in the bank for next week. So no real upgrade there, but just a couple of sideways, maybe cashing up a little bit for next week. Would you tick those off?
What's your thoughts on bringing Boyd in?
I was originally on the Sunday night when we were chatting with obviously us two and Jake. I was probably a little bit hesitant just because of the cash rise, right? But and I listen to Freaky every week, right? And hearing all that, hearing the thoughts of why she's still a good option and she'll still make a bunch of cash this week. I'm probably a little bit more flipped towards bringing her in, and I'm happy to. But this is the last week. You can't bring her in next week. She'll be over 700k, and you're just not doing it, right? You're not going to get as much cash. You'll probably get a couple 100k if she keeps going.
I mean, she's been great, right? She's averaging 77 average.
Yeah,
like she's been 76 average. She's been absolutely elite. 621k.
I think worst case, it's a 1 week play and you can sideways to a Shelley Heath type next week if you don't get Shelley Heath this week. That's why I probably like it, worst case. But best case is you keep her for another couple of weeks. She makes another couple 100k. She's at mid 800s, 800k, and you trade her to a premium defender that you like.
Like Shelley Heath is not. Shelley Heath is absolutely not a must get this week. That 43 is going to be in the price cycle for a couple of weeks. The 100 comes off first. Her price isn't, unless she goes absolutely bananas against Richmond this week, her price isn't going to fluctuate that much. it might go up a little bit, but it's not gonna. You still gonna be within reach next week. Her trend is down. Her break even is high. But you can definitely get her this week. She's currently sat there at D3 smiling at me. So yeah, I don't mind either. We're going to have value options next week in the defensive line.
Yeah.
Charlie
exactly.
Thomas, Shelley Heath, Serene Watson, if she manages to turn, even though I'm trading her out, if she manages to turn it around, she's going to be cheap as well. So we're going to have strong defensive options. So I don't mind a consolidation week. Get some green dots, get that cash gen rolling, especially if it's off players who have plateaued like Wrench.
Next one is from Sean Wenner. What are your thoughts on Dana Finn? Should have a low break even for a 2-week play. Not for me, Sean. If she was a defender or forward, I would be aboard this train. But as a midfielder, I just, again, we talk about those 5 spots are so valuable in our teams. I'm just not taking punts on some players for a couple of week play. I think that the worst player I'd sort of get in terms of they're not the worst player because they're a great player, right? Isla Sheeran would be the one I'd probably cap it at and go, that's cheapest. I'd be happy to go to. Then I like people like Kate Hoare, and then you keep going up. And you've also got an Anne Hatchard, Ali Anderson, not this week, but maybe next week if they show a little bit more because they're a bit cheaper. I'd rather go there. So just for me, I'm not looking at Dana Finn as an option. He's got a great score last week, and Dana Finn was a very good option for us last year as well. But she was a defender. This year she's a midfielder. I'm just probably not on board this year. Would you agree there, Tom?
100%. Like, I think now, unless you have a completed team and for the remainder of the side, and you're going, oh, I'd rather have and we're not like a Finn at M5 and Strommett in the ruck rather than a Schultz and a Primo mid. Yeah, I can see that as a time to do that. Right now, get your rookies off field, get your floor players who have a floor off field. Dana Finn, if she gets on a cold wing on a windy day, then she can score a 40 very, very easily, and you're getting a 40 in the midfield, which is as close to a disaster as possible.
Yeah. No, I agree. I wouldn't be probably going there, but I don't mind the thinking there, Sean.
Oh, great thinking. Great thinking.
Yeah.
100%.
Ghost Bakes, locked in Patricios to Greaves, 408k in the bank. Other trade options. So first option is Havana Harris and Wrench to Schultz and Boyd or Rigoni, which I think we'd definitely be going Boyd there. 2, Ott and Wrench to a preen defender and Boyd or Rigoni, or fix Kosh / Emma McDonald. So that's obviously in the second option. So where are you going there? So first option, are you going Harris and Wrench to Schultz and Boyd? Or are you going Ott and Wrench to a preen defender and Boyd, or fixing Kosh or Emma McDonald, which I think I'd just be getting Boyd as well. So you're getting a preen defender and Boyd, or Schultz and Boyd?
I think.
Actually, sorry. Hey, so to make it easier, Wrench to Boyd's in both options, right? So you're going Havana Harris to Schultz, or Ott to a preen defender.
I think I'm going Ott to a preen defender on field this week, with it being GWS. It's GWS for Gold Coast. I think I'm riding.
I think you're going Havana Harris for another week.
Yeah, I think I am, and I'm trying to be as transparent as I can, guys, because I have Schultz. So I'm not trying to say don't get on the player I'm on that went 137 last week and is going up a hell of a lot of money. But Matilda Schultz has been kissed this year. She had a poor score, played against half a game with no ruck to save the score, and then played literally with nobody within 20 metres of her.
Yep. I know.
And I know it's a decent run. The Eagles this week should be a decent matchup for her.
I think the thing for me is that Schultz is a great option, right? But Mimstrom is not that much more expensive than her anymore. I think it's not even a couple $100K now. and next week it could be within 100K. I just think if you go on a ruck up, you're getting Mimstrom. You just get Mimstrom next week, and you do Beckott up. And if you've got the cash, you go Mimstrom next week or in a couple of weeks' time. Because I looked at Bree Harrington this week, but that was purely as a couple of week play to get Mimstrom. But obviously with Torpy coming in, I'm not doing that anymore. That obviously that option is I'm not looking at. But I think Rucks. I think I'm just looking at Mimstrom. I think she's getting cheap, and we know what she can do. So I'd probably be going there personally.
Strom
go
is
to a pre-defender.
Strom's 1.23 million. She had a poor air score last week in an 80
which will mean the price comes down again.
Which she lost 83K. She's going to lose similar-ish again. Like, there's a world where Schultz is slightly more expensive than Strom this week. After this week, but you could be saving cash on that, which is an upgrade.
And see that this is annoying me. I had Schultz and I traded out. Cannot believe it. All I had to do was trade out. Was it George Sparkers when I went there? No, that was last week. No, it was last week I did that. No, it was the week before. It was going to be Gardner or Riddell, which I'm glad I didn't trade either because they both went big. But yeah, unfortunate. But oh well, what can you do?
Yeah,
Rank most important to trade out. Wrench, Kosh, McDonald, Harris, Ott. Rank most important to trade in. Schultz, Boyd, Rigoni. So yeah, Ghostbusters. I think we talked about that. So I think Boyd, I'd probably put at number 1. And I'll just go Schultz at 2 just because I'm not really on the Rigoni train. But in terms of trade outs, Wrench, Kosh, McDonald, Harris, Ott, does it just matter the fact that we've chosen Ott out in that option? We'd just be trading Ott out, or would you be holding Ott on field, not getting a pre-defender, and maybe fixing up an Emma McDonald to a Paige Scott on the bench to get some more money?
Yeah, I think
because Emma McDonald's out for a while, but could that be the red dot loop you need?
Yeah, my worry is where these players are. If either of those forwards are on field, it's them 100% of the time. If Kosh or McDonald are on field, then got to go. Wrench is a pretty much, if on field and you don't have a better option, has to go. Ott, probably similar, but I'm slightly more okay this week to have her on field if you have to. And Harris, I think that's it. You've got this week. Either Harris, Havana, or Taylor.
Yeah.
You want to give it this week. You want to give them this week and then reassess next week.
Yeah.
And if you're worried, save a bit of coin to allow your moves to be a bit easier next week.
Ethan Peacock. Hey, lads. Painter to Greaves, Wrench to Rigoni, and Watson to Tilly Lucas Rod, or go Heath, Boyd, and Greaves. So where would you be going there? Would you go, what is it? Would you go, wait, hang on. So would you go Greaves, Rigoni, and to Lucas Rod, or Heath, Boyd, and Greaves? I think I'm the second option.
And I'm a similar boat, like with my trades this week, and I think I'm the second option.
I think the better rookies.
And I think as we've found this year, I'm just looking at like my bench right now. My bench right now is Beckott, who's done really well and made 300K.
Yeah,
Lucia Painter done amazingly at 726K now. Next week he's going to get cold, and I have all that lovely cash to do much fun things with. Then it's Piper Dunlop and Grace Kosh. Piper Dunlop averages 41 and has gone up only 150K.
And Erica Fowler Mel Bragg are both out this week, so that's probably better for Dunlop moving forward.
What I'm talking about is those rookies who can't score get stuck, and then you're stuck. You want the rookies who are going to score, because Boyd will probably make, if Boyd continues, I'm not saying you're going to average 70 odd, 76 he currently averages.
She'd be a pre-defender if that was the case.
Yeah, exactly. But if she can average mid or score a couple of mid to high 60s over the next couple of weeks, she will make more cash than a bad basement rookie.
That's what.
And you get
That's why I like
of
Greaves,
points.
right?
Yeah.
That's why I like Greaves minimum for 2 weeks, because even if she goes 40-40, she's still going to make a couple 100K. Whereas you're not going to get that type of cash from somebody because of that 80 being in the price cycle for, 78 being the price cycle for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's why I think Greaves is a good option to be bringing in. A bit like Painter from round one, right? So that, okay, we're not expecting Greaves to go and score 70s every week. Even if she goes 45 to 55, she's still going to make some decent cash, at least moving forward. So,
well, we've seen it with Painter, we've seen it with Harris. They had their top score round in one round where they scored a 90, and then 2 okay scores after that, and they're still making cash. They've made another 250K from when I brought them in, and that's what where AFLW probably differs a little bit to the men's game, where because of the volatility of the scoring, one pop score can carry over for a few weeks and get major cash gen, which you can then cull to really put on top of these on-field players.
Yeah. Ben McCulloch's got the next question. So trade in Goldsworthy and a rookie under 400K to play on field, or Zanker/Barnett and Tessa Boyd?
Second one.
I think I've got to go the second one. Goldsworthy's going to be good this week, I think. And I think I am. I'm putting the VC on Goldsworthy. She did pop a big score. But it's an interesting one. I think I'm still going Zanker and probably Boyd. I think are you Zanker over Barnett?
I think I'm Zanker over Barnett. Collingwood have North this week, which is not the worst for Rucks, but not the best.
And Melbourne has still got a great run for a number of weeks, so I'm still going for the better run, I think. So I think I'm Zanker and then get Boyd as well. Obviously, it's going to suck not having Goldsworthy, but
for forwards, shout out to Jaiden. Check out statsbyjaiden.com.au if you want like the scale of hardness. Really good tool. Melbourne have the easiest run for forwards over the next three weeks, and it's 5 greens in a row. Richmond, Port Adelaide, West Coast, Gold Coast, Essendon. Freo is the next 6 for Melbourne. So I want to load up on Melbourne because the run is just silly good.
Yeah. And that's the other thing I've thought about is that even while we've been chatting here, I'm like, if I want to get Havana Harris to Mim Strom, do I just go Zanker over Malloy and then save that 300K or whatever it is, and then get Havana Harris up to Mim Strom a lot easier next week? So that's the thing I've thought about, and I have seen that run. So that's why it's like Malloy or Zanker is probably where I'm looking at in terms of my own trade. So something definitely.
Sydney have got a gorgeous run as well. Like Sydney's run is also really nice. The easiest for midfielders over the next 3 in Freo, Collingwood, and GWS. Beautiful.
And you sort of look at. I don't know if you saw the Sydney changes this week, but there are a few forwards that came in, which is what I'm looking at here. So like Sophia Hurley out, Amelia Martin out, and Caitlin Reid out, but they've brought in Grundon, Lexi Hamilton, and Beck Privatelli. So it's like they've brought in a few of those forwards, and Malloy played like Grundon's obviously a forward, Lexi Hamilton's that backup ruck / forward, and Beck Privatelli's a forward. You sort of think, is Malloy going to get more of that midfield time, or are they going to keep her forward because she's been dominating there? It's going to be more of a split. So, yeah, it's an interesting one.
Is someone like a Zippy Fish going to get some more CPAs?
I think she's been so good down back, though. I think they're probably going to want to keep her there, to be honest.
Oh, I agree. But she has that. She's drafted as a midfielder. I think we'll keep her there. I think,
but I guess if she's ever getting any attention, she might go into the midfield. So something to watch. To watch. Rekid Figure says Dunlop down to Simmons. Probably wouldn't do it now. I think if Simmons didn't get injured, I think and didn't sat a lot of the second half, I would have thought about it. But Dunlop with Fowler and Bragg going out, she's still number one ruck. Me and we were chatting about this last Friday, I reckon, or last Thursday when we were chatting, that we said that all Dunlop needs is a 60, 65, and she's making decent cash over the next couple of weeks. And that could be as early as this week. I don't, who did Geelong? Geelong got Eston, right? I know it's Steph Wales, but first game back, she's going to play. Yeah, she's not going to play huge time on ground. So I think Dunlop, this could be a game where she puts up a 55, 60. And then all of a sudden she's well over 500K and she's making some decent cash. So I think I'm probably holding Dunlop for Simmons, I think. And as I said, if Simmons had a better, wasn't injured in the second half, had a better score, would have been a lot more viable, I think.
Yeah. Like, Simmons might be the better natural scorer, but Piper Dunlop is sole ruck. Probably rucking with maybe Gabby Featherston this week.
Yeah, it will be Featherston as the second one.
So she's playing 80+% time on ground, all of it in the ruck. She's going to have a 60 at some point, and that'll get her up to 550 and that 600K, and that's enough to cover to a red dot, and then you've got your loop for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and her game time actually went up to 72% last week. So even if it's the same again,
she's gaining fitness all the time, and having no recognised backup ruck, like Gabby Featherston will try, but she's not a recognised ruck player. So I'm pretty happy holding. But if you need 80K to do the best two trades you can ever think of, I'm not going to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to ruin your season. I just wouldn't do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Jackson Baker says, thoughts on Wrench, Centra, and Conan to Rigoni, Greaves, and Lucas Rod. I'm probably against those trades because I don't think I'd be trading Centra or Bree Conan. Greaves is a good option. Yeah, I like Conan to Lucas Rod could be a bit of an upgrade, but Conan's been good. Conan's done nothing wrong, and that's even with a bit of a mid defender role. And I think this week she'll go to Marinoff. I think she'll play a bit of a defensive role in the midfield on Marinoff, and maybe goes defense a few times. But I think the role's still fine, even with a little bit of CBAs, because it raises her floor. I wouldn't be trading Centra. Like, she's gone up in game time every week. She's getting better as we see. And she was sick last week. They said that in the commentary. She was sick during the week, and that may have played a part in a lower score again. And it was against Melbourne, right? I know they got North Melbourne, so it's not any easier. But I think that I'm backing in the talent rather than the fixtures there. I think she'll make more money. I would prefer to get Greaves another way. Or do you think, is there any way you do Centra to Greaves, Tom? Or do you just think that Centra's going to make cash? You're just not doing it?
As I said on Sunday, and I kind of said during the week, I actually think Centra is almost a trade-in option.
Yeah, I agree.
If you can't get to, she has the best role, the best pedigree of any attainable rookie now.
She scored a 190 in the championship last year.
But
I remember she had like a 190, 40 touch or something.
But like this week, her 22 drops off. So she's going to go
70. If she gets a 70 or 60, she's going up a lot.
Yeah. So like I don't. But once again, I want to say what I said with a previous question. If you're going down from Centra and that's going to get the 80K to do your preferred trades, I'm not going to talk you out of it.
The only thing is Greaves is up. Greaves is up, right? So you've got to go up 50K.
Yeah, but that's why I said you're going up to Greaves. I think Greaves is going to play more as a small forward this week with the midfielders in for Richmond.
Yeah,
which I still think she'll be okay. I'm planning on bringing her in purely because of the pre-baked in score, but I wouldn't be surprised if she averages 45, 50 over the next couple of weeks. And that's just because of the players Richmond are getting back.
Yeah, exactly. Sean says, hey guys, ranked 185th. Bloody hell, Sean, you're bloody doing well in the men's fantasy. Now you're doing well at the AFLW Fantasy. Congrats, mate. Who goes to Laura Gardner? Bowers, Prasparkas, or Fish? Also, which defender rookie from Rigoni or pay up for Kimber? So who first we'll touch on if you're bringing in Gardner this week, is it Bowers, Prasparkas, or Fish?
To me, it's Bowers quite comfortably.
I think I agree.
Purely because I mean, on paper, using the scale, Geelong's run's actually harder for mids than Freo's, but they're very similar. I
thought that their run's pretty good. Geelong's
yeah,
run
on paper, so Essendon are apparently red, Richmond are apparently red, and Melbourne are apparently green or blue on his scale. But
well, actually, who have Essendon played? Have Essendon played like tough match? They played Richmond last week, which is really just Contin. She scored pretty well. Then they played West Coast.
West
Ella
Coast.
Roberts. She had a lower score. And then they
Mel
played
right.
Giants. And then they played Giants, where Elise Parker got injured very early.
Yeah. So I actually think Essendon are fine. I would trade Bowers. My current plans are Bowers, and I have those three mids.
Yeah, and I'm probably Bowers out as well. Those three, which is crazy.
Yeah. I don't think it's crazy. I think you've got to look and not this. This is not the Kiara Bowers of 2022. She missed a year through pregnancy.
They've got more mids in there now. McCarthy.
More mids in there now. She did a job last week on a very bad job. As the traders say to the men's, if you don't want to ever do a tagging job, just do a bad job. And she did a bad job on Astrodale second half last week. She might not get asked to do that one again. I'm not huge. I think it's Bowers, but she could care. But if you're trading primo mids, see, like I traded Gardner last week, a week before when she got 150. So I know trading primo mids can hurt.
Yeah. And then which defender rookie from Rigoni or pay up for Kimber? Would you go for either Rigoni or Kimber bringing in? I don't love either option personally.
Toss a coin. Probably just go the cheaper one.
That's what I was probably thinking. Or if you don't have Boyd, go Boyd. If you can find a way to get the money.
Boyd is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, I know. But I just don't know if I love Rigoni or Kimber as options.
I mean, Kimber missed last week, obviously. Good game time for both round 1 and round 2 at 90% plus. That 72 against Richmond was really good. But I just worry about the 28 the week before.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's Kimber over Rigoni. I'm not a big Rigoni believer, but she is probably the best cheapie.
Yeah. The only reason I'd probably lean towards Kimber is because the 72 is in the price cycle, so she's going to make more cash. But she's got a 20 the week before, so she goes to 20. She's not making that much cash. But if you're going one of them, it's probably Kimber. But yeah, as I said, I don't love either option. They're not really standing out to me. Like Greaves, if you can get Greaves somehow, like you're doing that, then that's the play. But
I think,
or even a Spectra. But
Sean might need the defender.
I was going to say that's what I mean. That's what I'm just saying. If there was a way you could do it, yes. But I don't love the defender rookies this week unless it's a Tessa Boyd. Jackson Baker says, "Is Barnett a hold or a trade?" I think she's a hold. You're not trading. You're not trading Barnett. I don't think. I think you're holding.
She's been great. She's
arguably
I think you're top. She's top 5 adjacent forward so far. You are not in any way, shape, or form getting off that. Like, great. She's the top 4 averaging forward.
Yeah, I think they're looking. I think he's looking at the matchup this week and maybe going, if he can go down, does that get the moves after? But no, I'm not trading Barnett. Mr. Forge 1, Watson to Carney. What are your thoughts on Emma Carney as an option to bring in?
I like it, but I prefer Shelley Heath. Like, I do like it.
Do you prefer Charlie Thomas over Carney? They're like 8K difference or something.
I think
Actually,
I
no,
prefer
about 20k difference maybe.
20k difference, but I think I prefer the cheaper one, Carney, anyway, purely because I think Thomas is going down in price. So I think you can
Because
get
Carney's gone
Thomas
up.
cheap. I think you can get Thomas cheaper. Let me just have a quick look at runs. So one thing I will say, West Coast have a really nice 3-game run for defenders in not Port Adelaide. Sorry, all the Indigenous names. So it's different 3-letter Freo and Melbourne. So Port Adelaide, Freo, Melbourne are all green teams for defenders.
Yeah.
So as we saw, McLaughlin score well last week against Port. Boyd, Carney.
I think I'm Thomas over Carney. I just like Carney's going to make more cash.
I'm talking myself into.
Yeah, Carney's going to make
Thomas.
more cash this week, and Thomas is probably going to need to lose a whole price. But I don't think Carney's going to go up to like 80% game time this week. They're gonna make sure she's right. North don't have to push her much because of the way they're going, right? They're going to want to get a cherry right for the back half of the year. And Carney's the sort of player we've seen as well. If they're up by a lot, she's going to rest the last 10 minutes. Her and Garner are the two players they rest the last 10 minutes. Collingwood this week, the way North's been going against everyone, you think they're going to do it again. Carney's probably going to rest the last 10 minutes, and that score won't be a ceiling score, whereas Thomas takes all the kick-ins. Port's a good matchup. I'm probably Thomas just ahead. But if the 8K, as you said, Tom, before, if you can't afford and 8K is the difference, Carney's still a good option. So,
20.
Yeah,
I think it's 20. I think it's 28K. I think if I
18K because it's 816 to
19K. Let's be precise on this pod. It is 19K. Sorry, I thought it was I thought it was 843, but it's 834. Yeah, I just worried about the price drop this week, and you can get her a whole lot cheaper next week. But that's just a tomato.
Yeah.
Kind
of. Let's rapid through fire these ones because we're just about to wrap up. We're just past the 50 minute. We probably go about the hour. So Sean says Bowers to Gardner or Barnett to Malloy. It's a real luxury trading here.
Ooh.
We said you're not trading Barnett, but is Bowers and Malloy the combo, or is it Gardner and Barnett?
I think it's Bowers and Malloy.
I think so as well. I think so as well because I think it's going to be easier to go Bowers to another mid than going and getting. But then, like, you want to keep Barnett though.
Yeah,
it's a tough matchup. You're probably going to get more points than Bowers and Malloy. I think
this week you definitely are. I'm confident saying you will get more points this week out of those two trades.
That's a really hard one.
Well, that's really close.
This is one where I wish we had this. That's a question where I wish we had like Liam or Jono or someone on to help us with that one because that's a tough one.
Yeah, tie break.
The smarter trade's Bowers to Gardner because Bowers is going down in price. Gardner's expensive. It's going to be hard to get a. Barnett's going well. So yeah,
that's all the nuances of fantasy sports, right? It's not just as simple as cash. You want cash. It's hard. It's super close. Super close. Go your guts is what I will say.
Craig Stewart, Garner to Hanks or Roberts, currently ranked 122nd. So nicely done there, Craig.
I think it's Roberts. I think it's Roberts, and I don't really know why.
She's cheaper as well, Roberts.
And that's what makes me go. That's what makes me go Roberts. That's what makes me go Roberts.
Melbourne's one apparently is good though.
I mean, for midfielders, it's not that easy.
I feel like if you're going for a Melbourne mid, you might as well just go Kate Hoare for 300k cheaper, save the cash.
Yeah,
part of where I think a little bit. And Kate Hoare played 100% game time last week as well, by the way. So if you're looking to Melbourne mid, you could go there. So I'd probably lean Roberts as well. But the only thing is, if you're looking at it, men's fantasy, you always like to go for the mids that won't get tagged. I don't think Tyler Hanks is getting tagged. Whereas anytime West Coast play, there is that possibility that the team just goes, we're tagging Ella Roberts. So I wouldn't be shocked if a Maria Maloney tries to go with Ella Roberts this week. The trick is, right, who's can go with Ella Roberts as a tagger. That's the one thing you want to watch.
See, Roberts just goes forward, and I'm looking at the run. West Coast next 5 is lovely. In Port, Freo, Melbourne, not that lovely, but actually quite good for mids. GWS Collingwood is the next 5.
It's a good run. Good run.
It's a nice little run for Ellie Roberts, and then you might want to switch her across to who's got an easy run for the rest of the year. Someone else. Get Jazz Garner back fit by then. You might be like, I'm going to Garner. Because Garner's
you could just go Garner Roberts and then go Roberts or someone
Roberts
like that back to Garner.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're all going to want Garner. We might all want Charlie Rowbottom as well, depending on how quickly she gets back.
Yeah. Name one that's the username. They're not asking us to name someone. They're just saying name one is asking O'Shea versus Boyd on field.
Oh, I've got both.
It's tough, right? Because
O'Shea's
gone back 70s. I think I'm Boyd just, but it's.
I think I'm Boyd just, but I think it's a legitimate toss-up. And it's literally the same players playing the same role in the same team. So it's just as long as a piece of string. Who knows? I think they're both pretty similar players as well. Like, it's just too. Yeah. I think I would probably go O'Shea purely because she was the one who started in the side. So maybe they're slightly more likely to give it to her. Who knows? Boyd scored more the last 2 weeks. Put it on Boyd.
Will Bite says Captain Riddell or Hanks. I think I'm definitely Riddell. Out of the two. I know Hanks been great, and I feel like disrespectful to Hanks, but no, it's Riddell for sure. Trent
Collingwood.
Sutcliffe, Bowers to Sheeran, Clark to Malloy, Vesio to bench, or Bowers to Hanks and Clark to Greaves, and then Vesio on field.
Can we go through that slowly? Sorry.
So you're going Bowers to Sheeran, Amber Clark up to Chloe Malloy, and then Vesio goes to the bench? Or are you going Bowers to Hanks and Clark to Greaves, and then Vesio on the field?
Well, wow, the first one's way better, isn't it?
Well,
you're getting Sheeran. Then you're getting... I'm a little bit scared of Sheeran.
Well, what I'd probably do then is Amber Clark more expensive than Vesio or not? That's the question for me. Because if Vesio is more expensive, I would just trade Vesio. And maybe that gives you the cash if you want a Kate Hoare instead.
DV is 547. And Amber Clark is 540. 509. So Vesio is about 40k more.
I'd probably trade Vesio instead anyway. Just trade Vesio, hold Amber Clark, get the more cash. I don't
like Bowers to Sheeran.
That's the thing. I don't love it either. If there was a way that you could go, I wonder if Trent could go like you can't really go Clark to Greaves, DV. Could you go like Clark to DV? Clark to Greaves, DV to Paige Scott, and then upgrade someone? That would be what I'd probably look at doing. Could you upgrade a rookie and just hold Bowers? So I don't think Bowers is a must trade. That's the
Bowers
thing
is definitely not like. And I understand you're seeing the 102 and going, I want a bit of that. The 240s there, and I know Garner's gone down, so someone's got to play that fourth mid role. They roll a really tight four-player loop. But is she playing the Tripodi time, or is she playing the Garner time? And if she's playing the Tripodi time, I just don't. I see that cap.
I like Sheeran as an option. I just don't know if I love Bowers to Sheeran. I think Patricios to Sheeran.
Patricios to Sheeran is a tick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bowers to Sheeran's the one that I'm probably a little bit. I think if you're trading Bowers, for me, there's two options. It's either one, you're going down to Greaves and you're putting Fish on field if you're in that boat, or you're going Bowers to a Roberts, Gardner, up to Riddell, someone like that. I don't think you're getting anyone sort of around the, like, as much as I like Kate Hall, I still think even Bowers to Kate Hall is probably not something I'd want to do either. So
you'd need something great on the other side of it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, for me, I think I'm probably leaning towards if you're going those two, Trent, I'm probably the second option. Bowers to Hanks, and then Clark to Greaves, and then DV on field. Or if you can go DV even up to someone, potentially if you've got cash. Or if you go, maybe you could... we'll leave it there because we keep going through and I want to answer these questions before we finish up here. Ethan Peacock, hey lads, loving the content. Paint. Oh yeah, we said that before, but thank you, mate. Appreciate you putting the question in. Ryan McKay, thoughts on Torpy for 1 week, then jumping into Strom next week? I don't think I'll be jumping on Strom for 1 week.
Don't book in trades. Don't book in. Don't book in trades.
Yeah, and Torby's on the bench anyway, but no, I'm just jumping to Strom. I wouldn't worry about a 1 week play. We probably want to be having players in for a little bit more than that. Solly Stalwarts, boys, I'm getting Goody. Talk me out of it. Allows me to bring in Goldsworthy, by the way. How much is Goody? So Sinead Goody is priced at
734. You know what?
Sheeran, I think isn't Sheeran pretty? Sheeran's 806. I'd prefer Sheeran personally.
Yeah, I. You know what? I'm not going to talk you out of it.
No, exactly. And he said, talk me out of it. We're not going to talk you out of it because I think she's still an option. I'd prefer Sheeran personally if you're going there, or if you can get up to Kate Hall. But if you're keen on Goody, go for it. Go for it. Back yourself in. That's all we'd say.
Yep.
Red lighting so far got Wrench to Greaves, and I want to trade Patricios. So going Bowers, Patricios, and Wrench to Roberts, Hoare, and Greaves.
Gorgeous.
I think you can do that. Yeah,
gorgeous.
For sure.
Yeah.
For us. Sean said he had also Boyd on field and Greaves in his other trade, so that's why obviously wasn't getting any because he's already getting those. He's already got those two. Damon Snell, Bowers downgrade to Greaves, Tonnen and McLaughlin for Zanka and Goldsworthy. Got Zippy on the bench. That's that's the trades. They're the ones. That's like if you're going Bowers down.
On the bench.
Yeah, so Zippy goes on field for Damon there, and you're going Tonnen and Hayley McLaughlin up to Zanka and Goldsworthy. Brilliant. That's a massive upgrade. So for sure. Will's saying, Tom, you have to keep Barnett. What are you doing? She's fourth highest averaging forward. Definitely keep. And that's what we're saying. But that's what Tom said before, though. But then when we were saying the combos, we're like, oh, we'd rather Malloy and Bowers. So it's funny how with different scenarios and stuff it is. But yes, more often than not, we're not trading Barnett. Agreed.
Yeah.
Combos.
In isolation, you're not trading Barnett in a million years.
Yeah, exactly. Liv says Stone or Bogue on field. Ooh, that's a good question. I think I'm still Stone. Bogue was
Stone's
great.
a starting mid. Stone is a starting inside mid for a good side.
Yeah. Bogue was great.
She's full. Yeah.
But 4 goals obviously was the big reason why she got a 79, right? But Stone's got the role. I back the role and the lot. You want the player that's got the higher floor, which I think is Laura Stone. So I'd probably go in there. But Bogue's good. I think if you play both, and if you've got a DV, I'd bench DV ahead of those two. I'd play Bogue and Stone ahead of DV. I think if you've got them on there as well. But yeah. And final one for Ethan. Can you bring in Boyd for D6? Paxman D5 at the moment.
Paxman D5. Your defense is elite. You've got
you can bring in Boyd at D6, but your team would have to be in a good spot elsewhere, and you're getting it purely for cash gen. Because Boyd's going to make more cash than probably most other, any other route you're going to bring in this week.Maybe Greaves is going to be up there close, but Boyd will make a lot of cash. So if you are doing this for purely cash play, then great. But if you've got like a Hayley McLaughlin on your field in your forward line, or a DV in your forward line, or you've got someone else on your field that you're not happy with, I'd be fixing them up instead of bringing in Boyd on the bench. But as a cash gen play, I could definitely tick it off.
I'd be tempted to trade a defender, your worst playing defender,
I think
Boyd.
I think Jono was it Jono or Liam? One of the two was saying they were looking at going a Paxi or another defender to Boyd. So you could go Paxi down to Boyd.
Yeah,
make a bit of cash.
Paxi's my D1. It's your D5, my D1.
But maybe Ethan hasn't put it in price order. Maybe it's Paxi still D5. They haven't adjusted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Will, final question here. Wilson, who do we think wins tonight? Good question. As a Crows fan, I'm hopeful Geelong win because if I'm nitpicking, I would much rather play Geelong at the MCG than Brisbane at the Gabba prelim. And that's purely because Geelong aren't playing at GMH Banner prelim. That would be what I'd say. So I'm hoping Geelong win, but it's tough. So I'm going to go Geelong, being at the MCG. Tom?
I think Brisbane win tonight.
Yeah, Brisbane have got the wood over Geelong, so it's going to be interesting to see. So
I
it
think
should be a good
Brisbane
game.
tonight.
Yeah, I'll be watching that game for sure, and a lot of us probably will be as well. But that will wrap us up there. But Tom, for those that missed it before, what are your current trade plans and your captain this week? And are you doing a VC potential this week?
My current trade plans, and I might do a VC, is currently on Goldsworthy, but my captain's on Riddell. Pretty confident with that. My trades this week, I've got a bit of cash in the bank, so my main downgrade is Wrench to Greaves, which gets me about 60 odd more K, which allows me to do Bowers to Roberts and Watson to Heath.
Yeah, I like it, mate. And then my trades at the moment, so I'm currently going Bowers to Greaves, putting Fish on field. And then at the moment, I've gone DV up to Malloy, and I've gone Watson across to Heath. But I am considering Zanker instead, banking a bit of money, and that will make it a lot easier to go like Havana Harris up to Mimstrom next week. So that's probably what I'm looking at doing there as well. So looking there. Damon says, late question, Gardner or Knopf as VC? I think it's Gardner. I think she posted earlier. Well, yeah, it's Goldsworthy, but I don't. Was Damon the one that said that he can't get in Goldsworthy? No. Sorry, no. Damon is bringing in Goldsworthy. No, it's Goldsworthy. Damon, you put the VC on Goldsworthy. Better matchup for sure. And she plays the second game. So yeah.
And and your line, if you own Riddell, your line is like 125.
Yeah. It's high. It's high. Yeah.
Especially if you don't already have a red dot. If you have a red dot, then you can go a bit lower. But for someone like myself, I don't have a red dot. So for me, to change my trades, to take a VC loop, it's got to be big.
Yeah. I don't know why he said it like that, but there you go. Interesting. But there we go. That'll wrap us up for the pod. But I appreciate you jumping on once again. Tom, where can the people find you across the socials?
You can find me on X at Tom_Hales_. Hoping that Ash Riddell's going to score 160 alongside Mattel Schultz this week.
No, shake of the head from me. Riddell, yes. Schultz, no. I can't handle that again. You can find me at BAILSDT across the socials and us at AFL Fantasy Fans on X. I don't think I said as well. Obviously, Tom said he was doing. I'm doing the VC on Goldsworthy, Captain on Riddell. I don't know if I said that, but there you go. But that's what I'm doing. So we're doing the exact same with that this week. But good luck this week in round 4. Hope you guys get some good trade ins and your trade outs don't burn you as much Matilda Schultz did last week. I didn't trade her out last week. Good, and hope your captain smashed out a good score. Enjoy the football. You can find us at AFL Fantasy Fans on X, and make sure you do subscribe to our channel as well, like and all that good stuff. And you can find me at BAILSDT. It's a bit of a sort of mashed up sort of end there. Normally I do it in a bit of an order, but there you go. You've got it all anyway. I'm sure you guys do all that good stuff, but if you haven't, make sure you do. But have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy the footy, and we'll be recording on Sunday night, recapping the round as always. So looking forward to that. So thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend. See ya.
Bye.